of you have your LRS, your Licensed Relocation Specialist designation?
I think so. I don't think I do.
We'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk afterwards. All right, so Military on the Move is, I'll start with the slide. So Military on the Move. So it's been developed by Leading RE. It gives independent brokers a competitive advantage to attract military business. One of the biggest things is 20% of your functional side GCI commission will be given to your client at the end of closing. So on the closing disclosure, on the closing statement, you will give up 20% of your commission to the client as a thank you for your service, as a way to give back. Why participate on Military on the Move? Well, obviously it's an additional business opportunity. You provide superior real estate service for those who have served our country. And people have saved business by offering a more competitive credit of military consumers who might otherwise choose to work with a competitor. A lot of the competitors that you'll hear is USAA and also Navy Federal Credit Union. Some of the criteria for the agent certification, which you're here all now, so this is part of your certification, is the training and your commitment to superior service. So once this is completed, there is an exam at the end of 17 questions that you will do. Once that is taken, you will actually get the Certified Military Specialist, and you're a Certified Military Specialist, and you can do Military on the Move. So for those that, now how many of you have been on the Leading RE website and logged in? Fantastic. If you have not and you're newer, which is perfect, this is the website. So if you go, and I will send all these slides out and I'll kind of help you guys go through if you haven't been on it yet. But this is the website. So to start a new user, this is where you go. You'll do an account, and it's step-by-step instructions of how to create an account. All your personal information. Once you are finished and you will go through, this will populate a username for you. You will have to create your own password and remember your own password because I do not get access to your password. Your license number is optional once you have finished. At the bottom right, you will click Create a User, and that will get you in. This is what the home screen looks like. Now, for those that do not have your LRS, I highly suggest it. It is $29.95. And who has their LRS? Anybody want to say how long it takes? Because I know some people have been kind of weary of it, thinking that it's going to take a really long time. It doesn't. It's actually fairly quick. It's made by the Institute by Leading RE, so it's made for agents. It's a bunch of short videos that go through one step at a time. I want to say there's either 10 to 12 slides that you'll go through, and there's a handful of questions after each little miniature video. So Christina, you said you did.
Yeah, it's for each module. It tells you how much time you have to put in. So basically, you'll know your investment, and you can complete a few at a time. But I would definitely suggest bookmarking the time and doing it all together.
It really does not take that long. I know Brenda and Robin, you were like, Robin thought it took forever to get it, and
it takes 5
Don't take
years.
forever. I haven't done it yet.
well, maybe
There's a difference.
Well, maybe after today you'll
I will.
do it. So
With the snow, you might as well, you're gonna be home.
yeah, there you go.
So Christina, I think that might have been a question too. We don't have to have the LRS in order to get Military on the Move certification, right?
Correct.
Okay.
However, the LRS, once you get the Leading Relocation Specialist, so as you know, everybody here should know, if you don't, Robin is actually the coordinator in the relocation department. So when we have incoming referrals coming in from Leading RE, we also will give out referrals. And we try to stick with people that do have their LRS, that do understand what Leading RE is and how the relocation aspects work. So if you haven't received referrals, it's mainly because we don't know if you understand the program. So getting your LRS will definitely help you get leads. So this is the homepage. So if you go to the green square where it says Institute, you go to take a course. Relocation. And at the bottom, now I know Brenda was kind of also confused on this as to which course you will take. Some people do have some confusion as to which ones. There's many different certifications that you can receive, but the biggest one, you know, I gotta pick on you. There's many certifications you can get, but the biggest one is the Leading RE Relocation Specialist. And this is what it looks like. This is what, Christine, you were talking about. If you see down here, this is just one of the modules, Relo 103. It's 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So you open the course, and in 7 minutes you watch a video, and at the end you'll have about a handful of questions. Hi.
Walk through.
No, come on in. Let me get you a packet. Here's a seat.
Terry,
You want to sit right here?
You can use the laser pointer too.
She wants to sit in the front row, right?
Oh, you have one? Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
Let's see. So yeah, so a lot of these will be based, 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 12 minutes. It does take, a couple hours and you'll get your designation.
So our screens are wonderfully prepared when we go online. It has Miranda Real Estate Group on the bottom too. That's wonderful.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Okay.
No.
Like, boy, I like this system.
I'm trying, but no. But there are 2 bundles. So there's part 1 and there's part 2. So this is the first bundle. There is a second bundle, right, Brenda?
You know what happened was it was a lot simpler than I thought. I was like, I can't be done already.
So there is a second bundle. And this is the other 2 that you'll watch, 11 minutes and 18 minutes.
So is there something like this online as well for military on the move? Or is it just,
We're getting there.
okay.
Ish. So
Just leading into the next slide.
thank you, I appreciate it. So mom materials through the website. So again, this is back to the home screen. Once you log in, you will see this. What button is the laser? Whoo, this is fun. Where's a cat? I need a cat right now. So right here is the toolbar. So once you click on that, this will pop up. And down here, it says Military on the Move. So if you click Military on the Move, this is what the Military on the Move homepage will look like. This is where you can get marketing materials, there's training, agent resources. Now, mine may look a little bit different just because I have more access to certain things than you guys will, but this is what it'll look like for the most part.
And the iPad version looks a lot different than the computer version.
That is a very large iPad. So marketing materials, training resources, agent resources, there's forms, which we'll get through all the forms shortly. So Military on the Move expectations. Let's see.
So Christina, just since you've mentioned that, is
So-
there another part of online that once we're done today that we need to do online?
No.
Okay, so how,
I'm going through everything right now. If you do go to the Military on the Move page, there is a video that you can watch that explains it a little bit more. The main reason I'm not pulling it up today is because it says rebate on it. As you know, we're New York State, we cannot offer a rebate, we can offer a credit. So it depends on which states offer which. Military on the Move, a lot of the stuff will say rebate, so all the marketing materials and the slides, I had to change everything from rebate to credit, so if you see rebate, it's because I missed it and I failed. But that video says rebate, so I didn't want to pull that up. So expectations. Identify and understand military consumers' needs. Help the military consumer compare on-base housing options with purchasing and renting off-base. Accept referrals if they are well qualified in a stated local area of interest. So when you get a referral of your own clientele or your own COI and they say, hey, I'm a part of the military, I want to do this, and you're fantastic, I want to give you back, I want to give back, I want to give you 20% of my commission. Great. So make sure it's somewhere that you are knowledgeable of and you know the area very well. Provide rental assistance necessary. I know some agents do not like rentals, but with Military on the Move, one of the things is a lot of military, and Karen, you can kind of vouch for me on this, a lot of people do like to rent because they're constantly moving and constantly change, and sometimes when they move to a new area, they don't want to buy right away because they don't know the area, so they want to rent first, then buy, which, as we usually talk, hello. Let me know if you have a packet where you're sitting. If not, I will get you one. Is there one over there?
there's a seat.
Yep. Okay.
Good morning.
So providing rental assistance if necessary. Be knowledgeable and trustworthy. Take time to show multiple areas. Provide resources to evaluate the community, schools, employment, When they're coming into the area, they might not know doctors, they might not know where to go, what to do, commute times if they have their new station of where they're gonna be. Be organized and efficient to ensure the best use of their time. In the military, they are very regimented. They like to be on time, they like to know what's happening and how it goes, timelines. So the biggest thing is being organized and efficient. Look out for military consumers' best interest to ensure they are receiving all the benefits in which they're entitled. That would be, some lenders will offer extra military credits. I know VA loans also offer extra military credits. So make sure that you're aware of what credits they are entitled to. Provide above and beyond service. And make every effort to develop opportunities to refer military buyers and sellers to fellow leading RE firms through this program. So if you have a client here that is part of the military or has been part of the military and they're moving to Texas, per se, first thing you're going to do is contact the relocation department to let us know that you have a military on the move client that is looking to relocate. And what we'll do is we will reach out. There are specific companies through leading RE that are military on the move. Not every company is military on the move affiliated through leading RE. So we will make sure that we start with the ones that are military on the move approved, and if not, then we will go from there. Client eligibility. So, military status. Now, originally, it was active duty, retired of 20 years, there was a part of wounded warrior, and with Willie, he decided, and it can be determined by individual broker, anybody that has been part of the military, we are going to offer it to. Whether they're retired, whether they've been in the service for a year, whether they've been in the service for 20 years, anybody.
Reserves.
Yep.
Reserves.
Anybody that is a part of the military or has been a part of the military, this credit will go to them. Timing. They must register before or at initial contact with the agent. So you have a client that you're working with, and they say, hey, you know that they're part of the military, you've been part of the military, you have to register them. They can't be under contract and they say, oh, by the way, I can give you the credit. They have to be registered beforehand. And it has to be, where we're giving it has to be in a state where credits are allowed by law. Client eligibility verification form. So the second page of your packet is what the verification of the program eligibility. So this sheet just states that it'll have their name, their address, your name, or our company for the military on the move broker, your name as a sales associate. Your clients will sign, or your client will sign, stating that they have presented their military status, that either they have been or they're active. And then below you will sign that you have verified it, and then submit this to the relocation department. This is big because if we're sending it out to another company, they're going to ask us, did you verify? And you say, yes, we have it right here, and we send it right off to them. So that is what the verification eligibility sheet looks like.
What kind of proof do they need?
Yeah, can I use the military?
So that's kind of, I would say, that's up to you. We can't physically ask them to give us certain forms. We can't physically ask them to show us. So a lot of times you have the military IDs. You can show that. Yes, Brian.
You're probably gonna get to this on jump. For us, we don't care. As long as they served in any capacity, they're gonna qualify for us. But if we're giving a referral to another broker, they might have certain things that they require to be verified. And we could say, yes, we saw their military ID or proof of service.
Do you want honorable discharge?
It depends on the broker, where the referral's going.
Us.
Us, we can take anything. If they served, we're gonna, if we're paying out the credit, we're gonna give it to them
Determine the criteria.
based on their service. But other brokers in the program might have their own criteria where it's only for active duty or only for veterans that served a certain period of time. So depending on where we're placing that referral, we will verify what their requirements are, share it with the agent, and then we just verify, yes, we verified that it meets your requirements, to send this form along.
So if someone was in the military 2 years and could have been dishonorably discharged, doesn't matter, they served and will honor the credit.
For us.
Right.
But
And that's
that-
where,
yeah.
once you send this verification to the relocation team, We will then, and this is Robin, so
Yeah, side note, I'm sorry, Christina, but can you guys not send it to Christina? Because some people are
Yes.
still sending it to Christina. And it's, if she's out, I'm not gonna see it, and it goes, when it goes to reload, it goes to the two of us.
Yes.
I'm gonna take over from there, but
Yes.
that's still happening.
So once that sheet comes over, Robin will then reach out, and if we're placing it with another military broker, Robin will call that company, and she will let them know what the status is and what we're doing, what we're offering to our clients, and see if they will match that. I'm pretty sure they will, but sometimes they might not, so that's kind of how that starts.
Also, just one thing, like, I know you cannot take a photocopy
You
of
can't.
a military ID,
Correct.
so don't
Nope.
do that.
Nope. As long as they show us, you saw it, you sign off on it, that's kind of,
I would ask for it, though. I would ask
Yes.
for the
Yeah.
ID.
yep,
If they're active duty reservists, they will have an ID.
yep.
If they're a veteran, they probably should, or a notation on their license, because now you can get that on your license as well. Or if they have a license plate that has it, it's been verified through the Registry of Motor Vehicles, or whatever the heck you guys call it here. But Brian, I gotta say, if a person's dishonorably discharged, I don't feel that we should offer this. I really don't.
No, no.
No,
The
if
veterans-
you're
the
dishonorably
veterans- I
discharged,
agree with
I
that.
agree.
VA financing won't go through.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
one kicked back and ended up going USDA. VA financing would not approve. Because they
you know,
didn't
and
have the
if
valid.
they're getting, if
Right.
they're getting a VA
Yeah.
loan, then if they're getting a VA loan, they have to produce
The
their
DD
DD 214
Right.
to the mortgage representative,
And
but
it
that
can
means
say
it's
what-
in-house.
So do they still qualify for that benefit?
No,
No.
if they're
They
dishonorably
don't.
discharged,
Right,
no.
so-
Discharge, you get nothing.
So anything that they qualify for,
Right.
like,
For VA
It's
financing.
I didn't listen to you when you said dishonorable. I mean, it depends too on the reason for someone's dishonorable. It's
I
like
thought you-
committing a crime, right?
But VA financing will only
Well, it's a
determine
lot
out with the
of
DD
different
214.
ways.
could be-
You know?
It
Correct?
says right on your DD 214 how you
Right.
get discharged.
Right, right.
Well, you don't get a DD 214 if you're dishonorably discharged.
Dishonorably, correct.
So, I mean, if you're dishonorably discharged, I don't feel that we should be
I agree.
offering the credit.
I mean,
But
there's a benefit to people, but there's a benefit to people who served honorably.
Now,
Right.
here,
Yeah.
now
And that's what we want. We want to honor that. Anyone that
that's,
served
you know,
for whatever reason, and obviously if they're dishonorably discharged and they don't qualify for any other military, then they're
I mean-
probably not going to qualify for this.
And they could have been honorably discharged with mental illness,
Right.
with being sick, but the DD 214 will say that they were honorably discharged, whether they did the 4 years, 10 years, whatever. And VA financing will also approve that way, correct?
only if they have a DD
Oh,
214.
only
There
if they
are
have.
honorable discharges where you cannot get a DD 214, but I don't think that we care about that
Okay,
part.
right, okay.
It's more of were they honorably
Were
discharged.
they honorably?
now here's my question, and this is something I personally don't know. How do you know if they were dishonorably discharged?
That's where if they have a military ID, you know that they were not dishonorably
Okay.
discharged.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
we're not getting get into, you can ask, do you have a DD 214?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can simply ask. If we don't feel that we need to ask for proof of that, it will happen down the road, but if we ask, do you have a DD 214, that means they were honorably discharged. If they're active or reservists, they will have a current military ID. It's mandatory. And again, like you said, don't take a picture of it, but they will have that ID. I mean, I have my ID with me, as a veteran, I have my ID with me, but active, you could ask, do you have an ID? And if they have it,
Great.
And also your VA financing, if they are approved, pre-approved, that's going to leverage them as being
So maybe the,
acceptable and
Yeah.
honorably discharged as well.
correct.
maybe the verbiage is that we are going to allow this credit for anyone that's served honorably.
Active duty
pre-approved for
reservists
VA.
or honorable discharge.
Or what about pre-approved for VA financing?
Right, well,
They're better than one of the
That's
but you can still, I think as a general, have you been approved, well, I mean, how many times? I had somebody that said that they were gonna get VA financing and found out they weren't eligible because they were honorably discharged but not considered a veteran. So we don't wanna get into that.
Oh, okay.
So the biggest things that I think we can ask for is, if they're active duty reservists, do you have a military ID? If they're considered a veteran, do you have a DD 214? I don't think we need to get any further than that,
Yeah.
so.
And if you feel uncomfortable, if you have any issues, you can obviously contact the relocation department, and we can also help you to go further. So the Military on the Move website, So usmilitaryanthemove.com is where referrals from the National Leading RE site sent to Military on the Move brokers will not be subject to referral fees. So this is something, when you do give 20% of your functional GCI commission, Military on the Move will not, and Leading RE won't take percentage of your commission. So there are no referral fees due to Leading RE for this. Let's
So-
see. Yes.
All your referral fee goes back to the client.
Not, what do you mean? Like the 20%?
Yeah.
Yes. The 20% of your commission will go back to the client, yes.
How do they get that though?
That will be a credit on the closing disclosure.
So,
They don't get
it's treated the same way we treat Willie bucks.
Yep,
Oh, so it's not in the form of a check.
correct. Does that, can't do
That
that.
would be a rebate. And it has to be disclosed.
Well, I do that through Homes for Heroes. It's referred to as a hero reward savings, but Homes for Heroes issues the check.
Yeah, we
And is
can't.
it disclosed on the bank statement?
Uh-huh,
the
we
closing
have two
statement?
disclosures.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, it'll be on the closing disclosure, but it's a credit at closing.
Okay.
So we have a Miranda, I was about to say, we have a U.S. Military on the Move branded website page. This is where there's complete program explanation. There's a credit calculator for the clients and military-based information. So the national local directory where they can find other bases and schools, and if they just have access to everything.
Christina, can that be, is there a URL for each individual agent?
No,
Can we do our own URL to direct to that?
you mean make up your own? Yeah,
So we
of
can
course.
track leads?
Of course. Yep. So
Yeah, but can the website track that?
No, but success websites will.
if you get a GoDaddy account and link it to this, yes. Melissa, did you have a question?
Okay, I just got a question,
No.
okay, I'm
No,
I don't know.
We gotta look into that.
no,
That doesn't go to.
it doesn't go to success. This is going directly through Leading RE. You could set up a link to it, but it's not gonna
We
track.
have, I don't think there's a tracking.
This one's out of our control. This one's
Okay,
done by
But
Leading
that's
RE.
not.
Okay, so
success.
if we want to brand this, we use this link, but we don't know if we use that link, if we're going to get the lead.
Well, put it this way, if they're going through this website and they're doing the verification, and I'm getting there, once they register on the Miranda Real Estate Group page, they have to put your name in. So that will come back to the relocation department that client
Oh, okay.
John Doe
They
signed
have
up.
to sign
for
themselves with
Christine.
an agent.
Correct.
Okay,
Since that's,
okay.
So
then
that's
we'll
how-
go back,
yep, the relocation department will track it that way, and then we'll give it back to you, obviously.
which is good for all of us. Yeah,
Yep,
that's
and
good.
then if they don't, because, clients have a tendency not to remember names, or who you are, or they'll say Melissa and you don't know which one they're talking about, we are gonna reach out to the client and we'll make sure that we figure out who it is.
So do they have to do that, or can we just do the paper form?
They have to go on the
They
website.
have to.
They have to. If they don't have access to the website, you can do the paper form, and either you or you can send it to the relocation department and we can register them for you.
Okay, so Christine.
But yes,
Okay, so the first paragraph, so if we get, if we get a referral from the National Leading RE site, okay? However, how does it work?
so.
No, how does it work if we have someone,
Yep.
military,
Yep.
but we're referring them to Texas?
Yep.
So I understand that the receiving broker is required for the military, but we're just then giving a free lead to Texas if we can't get a referral. Like if it's our client, we're referring them to Texas, so then, because it's not from the website.
Right.
She's not there yet.
It's
Okay.
from, oh, okay.
I'll get there. Steps of a military on the move referral. So, military buyer and sellers find you in many ways. Marketing the program, inquiry of generating and promoting, the program locally and base housing offices through referral of another leading RE military on the move affiliate, the military on the move website, through our co-branded page. And some of this is kind of redundant, but you will verify eligibility, obtain the signed eligibility verification, and submit it to the relocation department. When you sell the home or help them buy one, at the time of the contract, if you go to your second page in front of you, this is called a military credit disclosure. So at the time of a contract, once everybody has been verified and that they have registered, you will then go to the credit disclosure form and you will fill out all the information. You will have the seller sign it, the buyer sign it, The listing agent sign it and the buyer's agent sign it. This is gonna be an extra addenda to your contract, stating that it is military on the move. All the parties were notified of, and they're involved in the transaction, and the credit, explaining that the credit will be shown on the closing disclosure form. If you can, also get this over to your lender, whoever is representing your clients.
So this is part of the contract?
Correct.
It's an addendum to
So it'll
the
be
contract?
something
Okay.
with
With the contract, yes.
Fry, something that we can add to our library on zip forms.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So it is gonna be on zip forms?
Yes.
I'll have it added to the library.
Fabulous.
So, how does a client register? So once you go to our co-branded page, if you look up at the top left right here, it says U.S. Military on the Move by Miranda Real Estate Group. I tried for our logo. We can't do logo, but we got our name. One of the things you'll see here, it does say rebate, but if you go through it, it will all have the disclaimers as conditions apply. It'll say rebate/closing where allowed by law.
Okay.
So if you go over here, I'm blind. If you click sign up, and this is where your clients will also go, so you go sign up. This is what the page will look like. This is how a client will register. First name, last name, email, phone number, the areas of interest, and right here is the part, Melissa, or Christine, sorry. This is where you will put your name, the agent and Miranda Real Estate Group. Click I'm not a robot. And then once you click submit, this will go to relocation at MRG team. Robin and myself will get it, and then that's when we will send it out to you, which obviously if you're in touch with your clients, you will know that they have done it, and just verify that they submitted it and it's been verified.
So send an email to admin just to verify.
Relocation
Oh,
at MRG.
whatever the freaking names are. You guys have so many emails and websites, it's crazy. So send an email to them, to you to say, hey, my client should register.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you please let me know that they registered?
Can you just do it on your client's behalf?
That's scary.
So there's no confusion with what agent they're picking?
Yeah. Yeah, as long as they're registered. I don't, it doesn't matter if your client does it, if you do it. Yep, absolutely, and if they don't have access to the internet, you can fill out the eligibility form, send it over to us, and we can do it for you. But preferably you as an agent or your clients do it.
Christine, I'm sorry, what was the slide before that? How did they get to this? Oh,
So this will be our co-branded page.
that's on our new website. that's
Military
not-
and /Miranda Real Estate.
Yep, so right there in the orange, which again, I'm gonna send all this information out to you guys with all the attachments as well.
Can we create a URL that will direct them to this, which is a little
Karen,
bit
did you not
easier?
hear my question?
Our company create a URL. Brian, what do you, I mean, that's pretty long.
Yes.
Willie gave some URLs.
Just,
I think it's directed from military on the move.
Yeah,
We'll get back to you.
yeah.
Yes, we can.
that's crazy.
Mom.com/.
Mom.com.
You can create your own URL.
Momrebates.com.
Miranda Mom,
Yeah,
we'll just call it Gladys.com. That's my mother's name, Miranda Mom.
Okay, so once you're back into our co-branded page, this is back to the home screen. If you click on program, this is the video that I was talking about. This is the one that'll go through and pretty much state everything that I'm talking about right now and how Military on the Move works and how it's a credit and it gives back and it's for, a way for Miranda and you as agents to give back to our military servicemen and women. But the video does say rebate throughout all of it.
So we shouldn't be using that yet.
Don't post on social media.
Don't post on social media. If you're sitting with your clients and you want to kind of, show them a video, you can show it to them and just let them know that it's not a rebate, it is a credit, and that's what we're allowed to by law. I'm in the process, I do have an email into her to see if there was another version, if they do have one that says credit. I do know they're in the process because more states are moving towards credits versus rebates. So Military on the Move is in the process of making more stuff that says credit versus rebate.
Does it have Wounded Warrior in that?
I don't know if the video does. No, a lot of the marketing materials, so the biggest thing is leading RE and Military on the Move, it was active duty, 20 years of service, retired, and wounded warrior. That's their guidelines of what they go through. We wanted to change that and obviously open it up, and we don't want to say wounded warrior because that is a protected class. So a lot of their stuff you'll see, if you Google it or you go on the website, you'll see wounded warrior, you'll see rebate. We're changing it up a little bit.
Well, just so people understand, because Leading RE uses Wounded Warrior a lot.
Yes.
This was my opinion, and I don't think Brian or Christina argued with it. And I called Leading RE, Wounded Warrior, you can't get an ID that says Wounded Warrior. There's no certification that says Wounded Warrior, first of all. But I found it to be extremely offensive because as Realtors, we have a code of ethics, and Wounded Warrior is a disability. And I don't feel that we should be asking, is someone a Wounded Warrior? That's not a title that they're going to have anywhere else, and it shows a disability, which quite honestly, we have no right to ask if they are disabled, which is Wounded Warrior. So I would appreciate if we don't use the term Wounded Warrior. If they have a disability and they want to talk to you about it, that's completely different. But it's not, it should not be a qualification as to whether or not they qualify for this program.
And we totally agree with you, so that's why we're not going to use it. Yes,
Real quick.
Yes.
So, just to cover up, in the military credit disclosure, can we put some kind of sentence that says, that we don't do rebates, that we do credits in New York State?
It's,
It
if
says
you're a
it.
realtor and you're
Yeah.
attorney in New York State, you should know that's, rebates are a RESPA violation.
I understand that, but just so that we make it clear to the,
It says a rebate in there, or it says a credit at closing.
Yeah.
but just to say that, if it says any place on the Leading RE,
Yeah, but when they're signing up
Different for us.
verifications, you had to change all the forms you said.
Mhm.
So they're already gonna get that, I think.
Yeah, anything that,
well, just because it says it on there.
right, anything that I give you personally from Miranda will all say credit. A lot of the stuff you see I've completely done from scratch, and I've taken rebate out of everything. But what I'm saying, some of the stuff from Military on the Move on the page, you might see rebate/credit.
Right, I understand that. I just wanted to-
Yep, no, this should
Clarify it.
all say credit. Everything will say credit that I give you.
Yeah, definitely. I was just saying, if we want to mention that if any of the Leading RE websites says rebate, we do it differently.
Everywhere where it says rebate, there's a little asterisk next to it, in
Yep.
states that apply, and it'll say rebate or credit.
I was gonna say the
Already
video
on
talks
the
about
ERE
that
stuff.
too.
So benefits for the military consumer, superior service delivered by strong local real estate market leaders fully engaged in the local bases and posts, introduction to destination companies who can deliver similar quality. The credit is at closing, where allowed by law, no waiting. No mortgage tie-ins, so you can use any lender you wish for the program. Rental information and assistance, if needed, is provided. And additional services we provide as a company, so obviously they'll get, the moving truck and anything else that we want to give them. So rentals, so no military on the move credit is provided on rentals. However, many military personnel elect to rent rather than buy, or at least explore the pros and cons of each. You must be willing to provide the analysis and the work with the renters. This service includes a needs assessment analysis of the cost versus, or the cost to rent versus buy, information on rental properties, and if they needed it, you escort tour to show rental properties, which I'm sure as agents you do that anyways if you need to. How the credit works with a military on the move referral. So this is where, Melissa, you were talking.
Yes.
So, Brian, do you want me to go through this and then you jump in?
Yeah, I'll explain it.
Okay.
So we'll do two. We do, if we are, let's just say we have a client who served and we want to give them a credit as a company on there, we are just going to do, like Willie Bucks, we're going to take whatever our GCI is, I'll make it simple, if it's $1,000, we're going to take $200 right off the top of it. That's going to go as a credit on the closing statement. That's going to be their benefit for this program. The $800 that comes to us, that's what's going to go to the agents in their normal split on there. If it's a referral that's coming inbound from another broker, we have to pay that broker 30%, of which 20% goes to the client and 10% stays with the broker that initiated the referral. So it's no different than a Leading RE relocation referral that comes in. Leading RE doesn't take their 6% cut out of it. On normal referrals that come in from Leading RE that we pay 30%, Leading RE gets 6% and then 24% comes to the referring company. That doesn't happen on MOM. Leading RE says we just want to be able to provide the service. We're not taking our share out of it.
And
So
outgoing too, the same?
Yes.
We'll get 20% back, they keep.
no. So again, for outgoing,
Yes, say it one more time.
The customer's, out of that 30%, the customer's gonna get 20%. We will get 10 of it left on a military on the move referral coming in.
Yep.
Okay.
And then that 10% will get pushed through at your normal split.
Okay.
So what if it's our client locally?
Yep.
Moving.
We're just giving them a 20%
20%.
credit. We're not referring it to any other broker.
So it's, and leading RE isn't taking 6%, as you said, so it's basically, it's going through leading RE, and so it's just a paperwork thing, but we're still giving that 20%
You brought up a very
credit.
good point. Even if it's my own seller,
Right.
and my seller says on a listing appointment, and we'll probably put a slide in somewhere on there. I served, am I eligible? I said, absolutely, you're eligible. I'm gonna give you a 20% benefit at closing on there. I'm gonna charge you 8%, but I'm gonna give you, I'm just kidding. You're gonna get the 20% at closing on there. We still wanna put it through Leading RE so they can track the numbers, but
Yes.
Leading RE doesn't touch any of it.
Great.
We pay the customer the 20% and it comes off as a credit at closing.
Okay.
Still
Because
count
I
towards
thought,
our transactions?
perfect.
What's that?
Does it still count towards our transactions?
No.
No?
Sellers don't?
Military,
Outgoing referrals.
no,
No, because
Not
Leading RE is not getting part of it, piece of it.
Right.
correct. So military on the move technically is separate from leading RE. When we do put stuff through leading RE, there will be a tag which Robin and I will go through and we will tag it military on the move. They just want to know how the program is doing it, and it's also, it'll generate a report for us at the year end of, what we did for military on the move. Benefits of offering military on the move to buyers and sellers. New military leads. Military on the move is a great competitive tool when you're competing against USAA or other Cardis brokers, USAA, Navy Federal Credit Union, and I believe that there's a couple of more. Yes.
Let me interject on that. How many of you guys have had a buyer that you were talking to or working with and said they had to go with either another lender or another agent because of a military credit? Right? Has that happened? True story? So now this is an alternative, and what she's going to get into, the mom credit's actually a lot bigger than what most of these other ones are offering on here. But this is a benefit truly to use. A lot of agents will say, well, I don't want to give up this much money or anything. That's the wrong way to look at this, because this is it's not only the right thing to do, it's a good service, but it's also a good business opportunity with both buyers and sellers. The example I just used, if you're doing a listing presentation, you never know what their background is, if they served or anything. This could be the difference. They want to go to someone that honors the military versus going with some stranger that you're just meeting, right? So look at it as, another benefit that we can offer customers.
So this is one of the sheets, and I actually have some marketing materials I'm going to pass on for you guys to look at as well, but, and I know it's kind of hard to see, but the top part is USAA, bottom is Navy Federal Credit Union, and to the right is Leading RE Military on the move. Let's go down to the bottom. Navy Federal Credit Union, there's a cap. I believe it's 900,000. It caps off, and that's 5,050 is what your client can get, and that's it. USAA is 4 million, and that's the extent that they can get. With Leading RE, there is no cap. So if you're selling a $5 million house, yay, you get to give 20% back, and there's no cap. So if you look at the comparison between on all the sides, Leading RE and Military on the Move obviously has a higher credit for clients.
And this, like I said, that was based on 3%.
Yes.
I saw that.
Yep. So an example of Military on the Move credit on the buyer side, so obviously you guys have all seen a closing disclosure and what it looks like. This is what it'll say. It'll say a credit to buyer Military on the Move program, and it'll show over here on the credit side of what it will look like. And same with the listing side. It'll be up here, and it says, the amount refunded to seller for Military on the Move incentive.
Can you go back a slide?
Sure can.
I just want to make a point here because we have the same problem with, Brenda smiling. I'm not saying no names, but anyways, we have the same problem with Willie Buck credits or Brenda Bucks or whatever you want to call Bucks on there. You want to make sure on the invoice that we add that, like we show the true commission, but then we show the amount discounted, amount due to Miranda, and then amount credit to the client. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is attorneys just look at that bottom number, and then the seller will actually get the benefit of that discount. We want to make sure that that doesn't happen. So if you are working with either a Willie Bucks customer or Military on the Move customers, make sure you pick up the phone and call the attorneys so they understand how it's going to be applied on the closing
Should this
disclosure.
be on our DP?
Yes.
Yeah, but you want to verify that it's done properly on the closing disclosure, and that your buyer is getting, this is going to be the difference of them showing up with having to owe $6,556 at closing, or just bring $5,000 at closing. That's how you want to explain it to them. That's how they're going to benefit from this credit.
Okay, so there's gonna be a new DP, because I emailed it a while ago, because when I use the MEL money, there's no place to put it, you write it in, we gotta submit it, you know. So the
Yeah.
same thing will be different criteria for both, good.
Yes.
So Brian, are you suggesting, because I know that at closings these days, we don't get a chance to see how they did this.
Mhm.
So how are we going to ask the attorneys to give us this
When
information?
you send your invoice over, I'm
Yeah.
sending you an invoice, I want to the whoever's doing the closing, I just want to verify that my client is getting a credit of $15.56 from our commission.
Sure.
Okay, so the check to us is going to be reduced by that amount, but that credit difference is going to the buyer, not to the seller. You have to explain to some of these attorneys, because 9 out of 10 times, they're just looking at that bottom
Look
number,
at who's on what side.
and we bill commission to the seller, right?
Right.
So the seller's gonna get the benefit of that if
Right.
we don't speak up, and that happens with the other credits that we do too.
So military on the move referral policies and procedures. So Brian, this was another one of you, this was the commission's.
Yeah, we just explained that one.
Yep. So, with that. Key areas of focus, partnership between assigned agent and relocation department. Agent partnering with your client, the coordinator, so Robin, will be reaching out and talking to your clients, conducted 3 to 5 days after placement, and phone call and or email by the coordinator for live contact if live contact is not reached. So what will happen is, once this is all taken care of, and this is if it's an outgoing, if we're sending it to another company, another military on the move, it'll be processed just as a leading RE referral. Strong communications and follow-up by the agents. So one of the biggest things, if you're accepting a military on the move referral, and this also goes for leading RE, being proactive, updates on activity, timely delivery for updates, and obviously the desired outcome is increased sales and to go above and beyond service. And one of the biggest things is, if you're receiving an incoming referral and we give you one, or even if we're placing an out one, the biggest thing is updates. The status of your client, whether, you know, if they're going to look at houses or if there's a contract or anything. Robin, do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, Marissa's, most of you know, if you participate with company-generated leads, Marissa sends out an email to follow up. She's not involved in this, so that the follow-up email is not going to come from her. It's going to come from me, or be proactive and give me updates.
Yep.
Because I have to update the other brokerage as well, so.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is through leading RE, since, you know, to get into leading RE, it's very prestigious. You know, you were chosen, there was a lot of jumps, leaps and bounds to get into leading RE. So all these companies they have so many policies and procedures in place, and they have a lot of follow-up, and they're on top of everything. There will be emails that Robin and myself will get on clients that we've placed or they've placed with us, asking for an update. Usually it's like bi-weekly that I see it.
Yeah, some even it's weekly.
Yeah. And it depends obviously on the broker. They want updates on their clients. So same with military on the move. The biggest thing is just having that interaction with the relocation department, just letting us know updates. Hey, you know, I'm going to show the buyers or the sellers, you know, 5 houses on this day, or we have an appointment on that day. And, you know, just if we ask for updates, just make sure that you're giving it to us. Clarify customer service guidelines and responsibilities to the agent who accepts military on the move referrals, to ensure every military customer has a consistent experience. Follow the guidelines in the military on the move referral guide for listings and buyers. I didn't print out or pull up the referral military on the move agent referral guide because I'm teaching it to you, and it's, as agents, it's what Miranda preaches. You know, we teach you guys to go out and to do your best, and to, you know, obviously treat somebody the way you would want to be treated, and also, you know, have respect, and it's everything that you guys already do is pretty much what the referral guide is. So frequently asked questions for military on the move. The first question is, what happens when a buyer or seller who is already working with one of our agents hears about the program? So I'm sure this will happen often. You'll, be starting to work with clients or clients, and they want to offer military on the move. In order to participate, military consumers must register prior to making contact with a real estate agent, or must disclose at the beginning of the relationship with the agent that they are interested in the program. Military status must be verified.
I'm sorry.
Is there any leeway with that?
Yes. As with us as a company, yes. If we're outsourcing, if we're doing an outgoing referral, I want to say yes. We would have to obviously talk to the other company and see if it's something that we can try and sway, and if they're going to be lenient to work with us on that, to say, hey, this is something that we missed, we didn't realize it. Would you be willing to do the credit? So.
I mean, what would determine the timing? As long as they haven't signed up by our agency with them.
This is why they're putting it in black and white, because what happens is, think about it, it's like when a company receives a referral, we're sending all the information to them, but then if we go back to them, after the agent has spent a few weeks working with the person, a few months working with the person, they're under contract, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you, this is military on the move. At that point in time, things already been done and changed, it's already through the pipeline, the system. So this is Leading RE's way of saying, just like anything else, it's like our guaranteed sales program, right? You don't want to do it when it's, 85 days on the market, I want a guaranteed sales program. You have to do it at the time of the listing with all the paperwork. That's when we have our disclosure signed and everything else signed on there initially when it's set up. Now, depending if it's in-house, some leeway, yeah, that's what's nice about an independent broker, right? We can make that decision. But when we're sending it out, we can't dictate other brokers' rules.
Right.
But you would have it in like the buyer presentation or the listing presentation, so hopefully your client
Yeah.
Right.
know.
Yeah, if you're doing a buyer presentation,
If you
listing
don't-
presentation,
Yeah.
you won't have a problem.
You're referring that out and they're giving you like a leader, like 38% or whatever we get. Now they realize a day later that it's military on the move. So now they've.
You just want to give, when you're giving a referral, you want to give them all the information up front.
Make it zero.
But then,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
At that point.
But we can't speak, so here's the point, we can't speak for other brokers, we can only speak for our company on that. So there's some leeway with our company, it might not be under Leading RE's policy, they do this for a reason. So there's no confusion or any misunderstandings or, at the end of the day, you don't want, to hurt someone. That's why they're disclosing it up front and teaching you guys and putting it in the training to let them know when you first meet with them, we have this benefit if you
Brian,
qualify.
One of the things that you said, and it's been mentioned, but I want to make sure that people understand the meaning of it, is that Miranda Real Estate Group has identified what their policy is as to who this credit is available to. Other brokers have the right to do the same thing, and they may not choose to give that credit to active duty service members, I don't know, whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. So it is all subject to if it's an outgoing referral to a different area, it's subject to that broker's guidelines for military on the move. So just
Rob will
because
communicate that after
Yeah,
they
and
get
that's
contract.
gonna be
Okay.
difficult if we do find out after, because there's already cuts involved. So if I'm telling them after there's a deal pending or something, that's gonna be tough. So if all the information can be disclosed beforehand, that's gonna be way easier on
And
everyone.
Some of the things that other companies do, they open this up to fire, police, teachers. I think the biggest two are fire and police that I've also seen, or doctors and nurses. So there are other companies that will open it up as well as a way for them to give back to the community. We have talked to Willie, and we're kind of toggling back and forth. We're going to start with military right now and kind of go with it and run with it. Down the road, that might be an option, but coming in, if we get incoming military on the move referrals, there also might be that chance that it is, a fire, police, and so forth. Where were we? I received an incoming referral, and the client qualifies for the military on the move credit. Can I offer it to them? You should not offer the military on the move credit or on any referrals you receive unless it was sent as a military on the move referral. Or you are willing to pay the client the 20% credit and the originating broker a 30% referral fee, meaning 50% of your commission will go. So If it is an incoming referral and we give it to you and we have not stated that it's a military on the move referral, do not offer it. Meaning that the originating broker that sent it to us did not put it through as military on the move, so we cannot offer it. Now, obviously, again, if we find out that's something, we can reach back out to the broker and speak to them about it and kind of go from there, but that's something you would talk to the relocation department and be like, hey, you know, I noticed this wasn't a military on the move referral, and I noticed the clients are military. Is this something we can talk to the other company about it and see if this is something we can offer? If the client happens to ask about the MOM program, you can ask the originating broker for permission if they participate in military on the move. If they are not a military on the move member or they do not agree to offer the credit, you'll need to explain to the client that they are not eligible since they did not register for the program before contacting the agent for assistance. How should I respond when asked about the credit? You should explain that the customer will receive a credit at closing. The amount of the credit is based on the actual sales price of the house, and an estimate will be provided once the contract is executed. So once the contract is executed and you fill out the disclosure, where'd it go? So once you you get the contract, you get your DP, get everything going, you will do the military credit disclosure. It will have down here on the bottom, it has the amounts, the purchase price, the transaction side commission, total commission, and then the times the 20%, which is the credit. This will be explained.
That's the seller, right?
Yes. So this will be explained to the client at once the contract is fully executed.
Should this be part of listing paperwork too, if you're doing a listing for a seller who's entitled to it?
Yes. Yes. Marketing the program. So this is some of the fun stuff. So some of the stuff you can do for marketing program, you can do flyers, print ads, Facebook, postcards, you can do, I don't know, you name it, brochures. I have a couple of samples that I kind of started. Now this is just branded for Miranda. This will be, you guys will have all access to the Miranda stuff. If you want something personalized, I would suggest either try it on your own, or if not, you can send it to mirandamarketing.com or the Miranda Marketing Request. However, it might not be done, you know, until next week. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of a turnaround time. I don't want to say it won't get done right away, but you guys will have access. So if you want to just kind of take some, pass them around, and take a look at it. Where'd it go? So in passing around, I have these two. So this would be a postcard that you can send out for 4th of July. A lot of people do Memorial Day, 4th of July. To the right is just a letter or a flyer that you can do as a mailing, stating that you work for Miranda, what we have to offer, and what Military on the Move is, that it's a credit at closing. I forget what the bottom of it says. It talks about the quality, our service, that you're not required to have a specific mortgage lender. There is no cap to the credit, and that the credit is paid at settlement.
This is going to be available on the Miranda.
Yes. It's not there yet, but it will be there. I know. It'll be there by, I would say by the end of the week, but my goal is to get this in the next couple of days on there and try and move everything over. Everything will be a PDF version, so it'll be printed out. You can print it out and use what is already created. Bless you. This is something, actually, when we went to the Leading RE conference, they had something called a Military on the Move roundtable that I sat at, and it's other relocation directors and coordinators talking about what they do, their best practices, and their marketing ideas. And this was one of the things that they showed and that they had. It was reminded me of a bookmark, but it's something that they had in all their presentations if they're handing a client. And it just shows that, you know, the USAA, the Navy Federal Credit Union, and it's a great talking piece of just to get you started with your clients for the military aspect. This is just a flyer that they did for Memorial Day, just honoring our military today and every day, letting them know that we give back. This is something you could put in local coffee shops or anything along those lines. This one is was a Facebook post that you could do. Our veterans defended our homes. Oh, that says out. Yeah, cool. Our veterans defended our homes. Now they can trust us with theirs. This was a postcard from another Military on the Move member that I pulled over. Just another idea of what they did. Let's see. Client certificate. So this is something that Military on the Move wants to do for the clients is when they close, there is a sample going around, which is this, is a congratulations on your new home. Miranda Real Estate Group is proud to give back to the military members and their families. Thank you for participating in Military on the Move for your service. It was a pleasure serving you. Everybody that's in this class today, I will make a template for you with your name and your title on it. So I will send it to you guys and you will have it to use for future transactions if you wish to use it. More ideas of marketing the program. Print advertising, direct mailing, networking, maximizing leading RE affiliation, company-sponsored parade, floats, 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. Karen, do you have any ideas? Or some stuff that you experienced?
As far as, I'm already starting this. I already have some events planned. You know, we have some local facilities, military facilities, and I have to admit, it's not always easy to get into the actual facility because they don't want salespeople there. So if you have a group that is predominantly military, flyers I think are great. Talking to people, connecting with people certainly is going to make a difference, and having some kind of a brochure or flyer that can be handed out offering this credit. Including it on a brochure, if you have a brochure, I think is great. But, you know, company-sponsored parade floats, that's an interesting thought, idea, just to get the word out. So I because of the work that I do with the military, I actually have been invited to speak to a couple of groups, but they made it very clear that it was because of my affiliation with the military. Right, so that's how I got in, but I don't know how open some groups are. I don't know what your experience is with some of the local military facilities. But if you have that opportunity, do not turn it down, because it doesn't happen often.
Christina?
Yeah.
Like we've had the parade in different events locally.
Okay.
Will we possibly be getting like a banner or something? So say like I did a West Albany Strong Parade. I drove the truck. Like if we had something like this, we could have had a banner and, you know, 2 people walking
Yeah,
to say.
absolutely. We don't have anything right now, but if this is something that we definitely want to take and kind of run with it, and you know, now that this training is being out and now we'll have agents that are certified to be able to do this, by all means, my goal is to take it and run with it. You know, I want to market this. I want to do, you know, if you come to me and say, hey, I want to do a parade, or I want to do a float. A float would be so much fun. But a parade or memorial, you know, anything that you can do. And if you have ideas, or if there's something that you're looking forward to doing, let me know, and I will absolutely, you know, I'll talk to Willie and Brian and Tina and see what we can do.
What's commercial?
Commercial. I just have to say, I mean, May is Military Appreciation Month, so
Yes.
that should be a launch for
That
us
was my
to do
next
something. We gotta do something for
Mhm.
May.
And I know too, like, well, as Karen knows, I have military family members, well, they're deceased now, but I'm a lifetime member of the Ladies Auxiliary for VFW right near my house.
Okay.
And so they're very involved in the community. So, like, they've always welcomed me to, you know, drop off brochures, and I've gotten some leads through that. So a lot of times, if you have family members that are, you know, military, or if you're affiliated with any of the VFWs and what else is there, the American Legions, they're very receptive to things like that, especially if their military people are going to be getting a discount, so.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like I said, you know, a lot of the stuff that I've created so far, it was kind of more just to show you guys what can be done. Obviously, your guys' minds go above and beyond what any of us could ever expect. So if there's something that you're looking to do, or you want to do, and it's a big project, you know, send it through the media, marketing request, and you and I can sit down and we can kind of go over it and see if it's, you know, A, doable, and B, you know, we'll put a time to it and something I'd be willing to work on for you guys.
So another idea to use any of this literature information is if you're doing buyer workshops, you could offer it as a buyer workshop. If you're doing an open house and you have your books out, and this is another flyer you have out now, just to show this benefit, so other things that you can do with it.
Yeah, one of my goals in the next week, I don't know by Friday, but I do want to work on a brochure for military on the move. I got a lot of flyers and postcards, but I do not have a brochure made up. That is something I do plan on working on, so.
Do we have slides ready or goals to put slides into the fire presentation or listening presentation?
No.
Just add
Not yet.
it? Okay. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. Rank and acronyms. I'm not going to really go hard on this. You do have two packets and, after the next two pages. One is the military protocol and rank guidebook, and the next one is the military terminology and acronyms. The military protocol, ranks, and guidebook kind of breaks it down for Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, Navy. The biggest thing is say the rank in the last name, not just rank. Don't abbreviate to Sarge. Respect. That is the biggest thing is respect. Common acronyms, they're in the terminology. So if if you're working with military clients, you really should know the military background. Do you have any?
I just would ask is, as you would do with any client, how do you prefer, what name do you prefer I use? As with any client, depending on where the military person is, whether they're active duty, if they're active duty, they may want you to use their official title. If they are removing themselves from service, being discharged, they may be so sick of the military they don't want to have anything to do with their title, so just ask.
Yeah.
When I talk to the commander up at the Navy base, Commander Tejeda, at this point he wants me on a first name basis unless we're in public, and then I say Commander Tejeda. So it depends, just ask. Ask the question as you would with any client, but the biggest thing is do not abbreviate. You don't have that right to abbreviate. So that just would be my thought is ask them how to refer to that.
Allowance for housing, the VAH, is given to members so that they can provide housing for themselves and their dependents, usually spouse or children. The VAH is given to members and their dependents. VAH is given to the member and their dependents do not occupy government quarters. And the VAH is a non-taxable money paid on a monthly basis to the client. 3 factors that determine it is the pay grade. The higher the grade, the higher the VAH. The location in the United States is tended to match the average monthly rent in the area where the member is stationed. Depending on the status of the assignment, such as if they're temporary duty or an accompanied assignment, the VAH could be calculated where the dependents actually reside. If the member has dependents or not, there are 2 types of VAH, which with dependents and without dependents. What does not affect the amount of VAH is the number of dependents. A member with a spouse and no children receives the same as a member with a spouse and children. The actual amount paid for rent, the member absorbs or retains the difference based on their preferences. Some stats, military home buyers and sellers, the internet availability is 92.8%. Most military use the internet as a primary source for real estate needs. 80% that purchased a home use the internet to do so in their research. And about 40% who didn't end up purchasing a home also use the internet. Majority used a real estate agent. Approximately 78% of military who bought, sold, or built a home worked with a real estate agent. Expectation of service providers. So the biggest thing is punctuality. 10 minutes is early, 5 minutes is late. The biggest thing with military is, and you can attest this, be on time, if not early. They are very regiment. They have their time. They wake up. Everything is regiment. Calling when you say you're going to call, doing what you say you'll do. If you just got the phone and say, hey, I'm going to send this to you, and you don't send it to them, you're going to tick them off. Make sure you're on top of everything. Someone help me. Thank you. With military issues and terminology. So, browse through that military terminology and acronyms just so you kind of get familiar with the lingo. Empathy. They're always moving. Some of the families might get deployed. Trish, your husband.
Yeah.
He goes away for 6 months at a time, or 3 months, or and it's a hard time. I've watched Trish. She works and she's a mother, and it's difficult. So to have that empathy for your clients, to understand that their lifestyle changes so much, so often. Excellence in service. Again, I don't really have to push that. You're all agents with Miranda, so that is one of our expectations. Courtesy and mutual respect, and trust. Make sure your clients want to trust you. They're moving into the area, or it's a client you just met. Willie and Brian would say, people work with who they like, know, and trust.
Can I add to this? just a
Yes,
little bit?
you may.
Okay, because you touched on it, and I brought up the thought of, we are in a world, as far as realtors, going back to our code of ethics and the guidelines that we have to follow. Don't assume that a military person is just a man. There are a lot of women that serve in the military. And I find this to be probably one of the biggest things that I encounter is, so don't judge based on man or woman, whether or not they're active duty, reservist, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, as far as part of this, and Trish can attest to this, is that if a person has a spouse or a significant other that's in the military, that person that's at home has one heck of a job,
Yeah.
especially if they're overseas. So understand that, they have a two-person family, whether they have children or not, and then all of a sudden one person's just gone from their world for an extended period of time. So the empathy part of here,
It's huge.
and the respect and the trust and whatever the case is, I have had times where the spouse, whether it's man or woman, which is the interesting part, so think about it, whether it's man or woman, is home looking for a house when their spouse is overseas. And they're still looking for that house, and it's kind of difficult because that person, I've sold houses to people in the military where the spouse never sees the house until after the closing. So be understanding of that.
Time
And don't
and
judge,
patience.
that the military person is a man, because it may be the other way around.
So what would you need, like she's talking about, like say, man or woman was looking for the house, whether spouse was away, if they were doing would they need to provide something to show that their spouse was the veteran or individual member?
Yeah, power of attorney, or there's ways that you'll understand, absolutely, by all means.
And in that case, I would ask who's your attorney that you're working with that did the power of attorney, and verify with the attorney that they actually have that, and that it covers purchasing a home.
Yeah.
Because it may not cover purchase of a house.
And I had a military family where the wife was buying the home and the husband was deployed, and the power of attorney, although she had the form done,
Yeah.
and it was the base that helped them do that, the power of attorney has to be filed with the county, it wasn't filed with the county.
Okay.
So we got to the closing table and had a panic situation.
The other thing here too I like is the expectation. I like the empathy. But I also like saying, and it really means a lot. Both my parents are military. My brother, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law. Now my nephew just left. It's thanking them and acknowledging, thanking them for the service. So after 2 appointments that I had, maybe in the last 2 months, and they were both sellers, I didn't say thank you for the listing appointment. I said thank you for your service.
Yeah, by all means.
And that went, I think, an acknowledgement in a way different way than a sales pitch. And I really mean it.
Yeah.
Like, you really do mean it. So thanking them, I think, is a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, did you have something?
No, just experience here. One of the coolest leads, I wish we had this about 9 years ago. One of the coolest leads I ever got, and it ended up in the sale of a listing I had, was I got a phone call from a gentleman asking about a listing I had right back behind our old Rotterdam office. And he was calling and he said that I'm gonna have my wife come look at it because I'm out of town. I actually, in the Navy, I just got back from the NC, but she doesn't want to lose this house. But he wanted to ask some questions, so he was asking me some questions. And as the conversation went on, it was getting a little staticky. So I asked him where he was. He goes, well, you never would believe me if I told you this. I'm like, what's that? He's literally with his head poked out of a nuclear submarine in Hawaii, stationed in Hawaii at one of the bases right there, and he was calling ahead of time. So I showed the house the next day. When he got into New York area 3 days later, they put the contract in and we sold it.
Jason Zappia had a sale too.
Yeah.
It was a couple years ago before, we were involved with this, but where it was a military family and they did not see the house. They did it all through
Yeah.
FaceTime and that was
Yeah.
really awesome.
And that's the cool part now, also with the technology that we have, is, if there is someone overseas, you can do that FaceTime, or you can do, you have that option, so.
Certainly, technology is changing the way we are doing business. And with the military, at times, it's kind of a forced change
Yeah.
to be able to get that transaction closed.
So questions, guys? That's the end of it, and next comes the test, so. Let's see. Oh, man, I know.